So the question was, okay, what is that when you say you like someone? It's based on the physical attraction.
Yeah.
And this is where we can very easily go wrong and so limit ourselves.
Hmm.
And, when I know I'm not dating at the moment,
Yeah.
but if I'm out at a networking event,
Hmm.
can you see the insanity of me saying I'm only going to go talk to the people that I like the look of?
Yeah. You're
It'd be
narrowing your, yeah.
you'd be like, I mean, you're a dumbass. What the hell are you doing, right? And that's the problem. You're thinking, you're equating you fancying them for
Hmm.
there being anything more. And this is where, we'll land ourselves in trouble just overall. Because
Yeah.
one,
Hmm.
most of the time, most of the healthiest and happiest couples I know weren't
Hmm.
even attracted to each other at the outset.
Right. Okay.
That attraction developed over time,
Hmm.
developed after they got to know each other. And you'll find that sometimes you get to know someone and you may not even have thought of them in that way, like
Hmm.
literally fancied them. But
Yeah.
actually, after a while, you start to really like them and sort of develop
Hmm.
feelings for them. And this is
Yeah.
where the real attraction, spiritual level attraction starts to come into
Hmm.
play.
Hmm.
So, what I would suggest to you at the outset
Yeah.
is you need to get over yourself and get
Hmm.
used to conversing with people at a
Yeah.
different level.
Hmm.
I've got a client, a gentleman client, and he's on this task at the moment where
Hmm.
he's got to have. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said now. I've got a recording of it, but it was either yeah, that was it. I think in the next 30 days he's got to speak to 100 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be an attraction thing or anything, but it's
Okay.
getting used to having that conversation, having
Hmm.
conversations with people, having
Hmm.
being able to talk to people. Again, there's another danger as well that I didn't mention is that when you start to think about, do I like that person?
Yeah.
You change in that moment. You don't realize it, but you do change.
Hmm.
If you were chatting to me, just having a lad conversation, that conversation would be very different to someone you thought you fancied. And
Yeah.
this is what happens is that we develop almost a disconnected part of ourselves. One
Hmm.
side that will only speak to people firstly that you're attracted to, but you're speaking to them at a very different level, very different wavelength, a very sort of a facade up, a different energy altogether, because you haven't developed that level of congruence yet, where you can speak to someone you fancy and someone you don't fancy at the same level. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to be able to develop that ability to have conversations with anyone at any time,
Hmm.
at a singles event, out and about, just generally, and see
Yeah.
someone you fancy and see someone you don't fancy, and still have a conversation, not worry about whether anything's going to come of it or not. And that's
Hmm.
when life is going to really surprise you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So from the obviously the event perspective, that's something big that you're going to have to do.
Yeah.
And I really recommend doing that, that, you know, setting yourself the challenge of going
Hmm.
out there and talking to people all the time. Lucky for me, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I say lucky, we've got a dog. And that
Yeah.
makes having conversations with people really easy.
Oh,
But
does it?
yeah, of course, random people come up to us all the time saying, want your dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Meet another dog owner and we end up having a random
Yeah.
conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
What's really cool about it is that we end up speaking to people that we would not normally speak to.
Yeah.
We've made friends with people we wouldn't normally make friends with if we
Yeah.
did weren't all dog owners, but that really connects us.
Mhm.
Am I still a bit rusty because I don't do it as often as I should, which is going out and talking to people randomly without Monty present? Yes, definitely. Um, but again, I'm sort of working at it and stuff. I've been talking to people more at the gym, which is where I spend a lot of my time, but also as well, just out and about day-to-day scenarios, being able to have conversations with people, restoring that skill to pre-lockdown levels that, I once had where I could literally do it and any day, anytime, anywhere. And even I lost that ability a little bit as well. I noticed my public speaking skills aren't as good as they were before lockdown because it went through a long period of time where it wasn't being utilized, and I kind of reset, and I've got to learn that skill again, learn to be able to speak without umming and ahhing and making my points succinct, clear, employing a bit of brevity, but also being able to create impact. So all of those things. Anyway, so I'm just kind of
Yeah.
equating this side, what I do, to what you do. And
Yeah.
want you to know that that's going to be a huge part of this journey moving forward. So I say to you, going back to the original point, make that a challenge for yourself. Switch my alarm
Right.
off. for the next 100 days, sorry, 130 days or 100 days, however long you want to do it, how you want to set yourself a challenge. Have you ever seen on YouTube? I'm going to dig it out for you. It's a great watch. It is, let me just go search for it very quickly. It's a TED talk from some years ago, and it was called What I Learned from 100 Days of Rejection. I'm going to send you the link now on WhatsApp if I've got your number there handy. Yeah, so it was a great one. And someone in the UK did this recently, and they did it on social media, and they went a bit viral for it as well. You posted your profile yesterday, didn't you? So let me just send you the link to this. I really recommend watching it. When you watched it, think about how
Yeah.
it's going to apply to you and how you
Yeah.
do this, and go and start having conversations with people. Because let's be honest, you tell me honestly right now, Jay, if I introduce you to someone right now, anyone random, whether you fancy them or not,
Yeah.
and I left you two alone, how do you think that the conversation would go? Would you say you're a natural conversationalist? Would you say you're quite shy, quite reserved, and don't know, sometimes don't know what to talk about, and you'll go quiet? And so would you say, generally speaking, if I introduce you to a stranger right now, like let's say we were at the Valentine's event, I introduced you to someone, fancy them or not, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I said, oh, I'll come back to you guys, you carry on.
Yeah.
How would that conversation go? Would you be able to converse naturally, free flow? Okay, can I just do something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you talk about things like that? I was at the gym yesterday, right? And I didn't
Yeah.
have to tell this lady. There's a lovely, lovely, pretty young girl who works there at the gym. She's one
Yeah.
of the personal trainers, and I chat to her occasionally. Like we're not super close friends or anything, but she knows what I do. And then she was passing by yesterday as I was doing some exercises and skipping, right? And she was like, "Hi," and I was like, "Hi, how you doing?" And we all do this as habit. Oh, how's it going? The usual, the first question, how's it going?
Yeah.
Right? She said that to me, and I said that to her. And then I thought I don't want that conversation to go down that black hole. So
Yeah.
I said to her, "Hey, guess what? It's my birthday today, so I'm doing a little challenge for myself." And she was like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Happy birthday. What are you doing?" And I said, "Like, so I did a 4.8 kilometer run. I did an 48 floors on the stair climb. I normally do more, but I was already
Yeah.
really tired anyway because I've been training really hard for the last 8 days straight. And then I'm gonna do 48 skips.
Yeah.
And that's where my way of celebrating my birthday. So that started a whole other conversation. Do you think she was standing there going, "Why is he telling me it's his birthday? Why is he telling me about this? What's wrong with this guy? What this freaking weirdo?" Like, do you think she was standing there doing that?
No, she was probably quite interested.
Yeah, she's quite
Yeah.
interested. And this
Yeah.
is it, isn't it? We all revert back to the status quo. And obviously I talked a lot about this as well when we did the masterclass. We
Yeah.
all go towards and gear towards and gravitate towards what's really boring, what's really dull. But this is why people are getting burned out. This is
Yeah.
why everyone's experiencing a groundhog day of dating, because everyone's doing the same thing, not ever doing
Yeah.
anything different, not ever thinking outside the box. And it's
Mm.
going to be down to you now. So yeah,
On
and you
speed
need to
dates.
expand on that, I think, as well. I think
Yeah.
you need to be that needs to become your de facto standard. That
Mhm.
needs to become so, this example, I introduce
Yeah.
you to a random stranger at a
Yeah.
Valentine's event, and then you go to the default. You were honest with me, which is great because that
Yeah.
helped.
Mm.
How are you, how's this event going for you, etc.
Yeah.
And you want to move away from that. You want to be
Yeah.
able to do something like saying to that person, "Hey,
Mm.
I've been playing a game," like just even if you start randomly.
Yeah.
I've been playing a game with people all night, two truths and a lie. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you three things about me, and you've got to guess which is a lie. How's your and the thing is as well, you don't go straight into it. You expand.
Yeah.
You say to them something like, "So listen, how's your kind of like, lie detecting skills? Like do you think
Yeah.
you're a good judge of people and you're able to like pick up on these things?" See? What's happened is now you've expanded on it. You're not going straight
Yeah.
into the two truths and a lie. You now actually
Right.
have a conversation about it,
Mm-hmm.
about their ability to read body language, and that
Yeah.
again you enter that rabbit hole, and you go in
Yeah.
a completely different area, probably chatting about that for the next 10 minutes before you even get to your two truths and a lie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so the conversation has gone down a completely, and this is what you need to do, Jay, is you need to have maybe 5 or 10 of these
Yeah.
as your backups for
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're in a moment where you feel a bit stuck.
Yeah.
Like, and this is where it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen when you meet someone you really fancy.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to get stuck. And this is where
Yeah.
the pre-practice, you do this with loads of other people.
Mm-hmm.
that practice and that training. How many times
Yeah.
have you seen in a movie where they, a spy says to someone, trust your training, whatever, like, they say it randomly, like, just
Yeah.
believe in your training, whatever. And that's what it is.
Mhm.
What the reason I'm teaching you this is so that
Yeah.
you can do it in any scenario, but when
Mhm.
it really comes down to the crunch, you meet the woman of your dreams and you don't stutter and you
Yeah.
don't fall over your words and you don't get lost for words. You go back to your training, what you've practiced, and you say to this girl, hey,
Mhm.
listen, are you a bit adventurous? Would you say you're adventurous? She
Mhm.
says, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit. Great. I have this little game I've been playing with people all night, and I'd love to see if you've got what it takes to figure out if I'm telling the truth or not, right? Or I'm going to
Yeah.
do this two truths and a lie.
Mhm.
So how do you think your people skills are? Like, your ability to read people.
Yeah.
I should be like, oh yeah, this is a good challenge. I like this. Yeah, I'm up for this as well. I'm pretty good. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's put it to the test. In a minute, I'm going to tell you these three things, and you've got to decide, um, if you can guess which is the lie.
Yeah.
And when I've done mine, you're going to have to think of one. So if you want to think of them now, actually, before we do this, go for it. But in the meantime, do you want to do that? In fact, do you want to think of three? And she'll be like, maybe. And you'll be like, okay, cool. I'll tell you what, think of three, and then I'm going to do mine. Tell me when you're ready, and then I'm going to do mine. She'll be like, okay, cool. And are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? You can have a bit of fun, a bit of banter, get some real conversation going, and then of course you dive into it. This is why I say do these things so that
Mhm.
when it really counts, it's easy.
Yeah.
You don't trip over yourself and land on your face and flash your glasses into your eyes and trust me, I've done that before, right? And so this is why we're doing it. So okay, so hopefully I'm hoping that's giving you some idea of how
Yeah.
to overcome this, especially the in-person scenario, which to
Mhm.
me, quite frankly, is the more important one.
Yeah.
You see, the apps now, let's go back to the apps thing.
Mhm.
Here's where, for me, I think most people miss a trick,
Okay.
right? You've seen for yourself where you've messaged, maybe you've sent a nice, pleasant message,
Mhm.
and you're not getting a response because again, like if you give me an example, what are you sending as a message to any of these people that you've encountered, connected with? Now, you tell me,
Yeah.
switch roles. You're a lady
Mhm.
for a second,
Mhm.
and a guy messages you that. Is that
Mhm.
interesting? Is that fun? Does it seem filled with emotion, excitement, mystery?
Probably not.
No. While your intention is good,
Mhm.
it's just not executed that well. It's still at the very basic level.
Mhm.
And you've seen what my point
Yeah.
was going to be was this. You've seen
Yeah.
by playing it safe and sending a
Yeah.
very safe message, you get very few messages back anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you may as well be a bit more risque
Yeah.
and be a bit more brazen because
Mhm.
if she's not going to respond anyway, you may
Yeah.
as well just have fun in the process and say something that's going to make you laugh and make you giggle, and regardless of what happens, what the outcome is, right?
Yeah.
Be cheeky, be really like push the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
okay, so you saw someone who likes chocolate on their profile.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's think about how we can level this up, right? What else could you say? Now, if it was me, I might
Mhm.
say something along the lines of, "Ah, you're a chocolate lover, right? Okay, cool."
Mhm.
And then, and then I might go into something like, again, this is just me being off the top of my head. Oh my
Mhm.
God, have I got a story about chocolate to tell you? It's just wild.
Mhm.
Now, suddenly, she's a bit curious. She's like, "Oh, I wonder what the story is." And she's more likely to respond because just her
Mhm.
curiosity has got the better of her. So
Yeah.
she's more likely just to respond, just to say, "Oh, cool. So what happened? Well, what is this wild story?" And this is where you can now get into better banter. And the worst thing I could do is tell her that story.
Yeah.
And I would then, of course, say to her something along as she did reply, look, it's a pretty special story. I save it for some very special occasions. So perhaps if we get to know each other and we meet, then maybe I will tell you that story. I'll keep her hanging, dangling, carrot thick, because this is the only way that works.
Yeah.
But it's simple, just basic psychology. I
Okay.
fall
Yeah.
for that trap every time.
Mhm.
Someone says that shit, but I've got something to tell you, right? And I'm the typical carrot stick person now. They've got me. They've got me hooked, good and proper. I'm learning to escape that a little bit now, but still. But yeah, so does that make sense? So
Yeah.
you on these apps now, I think, dude, just go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
What has, let me ask you this, let's phrase it in a way that will hopefully rewrite your psychology right now. Has playing it safe worked for you? Now that you know and you've acknowledged in your head playing it safe has not worked for you, are you ready to be a bit brazen and put literally your balls on the line?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think so.
Why not? What have you got to
Yeah.
lose? They're already not responding. So you may as well just go a bit more crazy anyway.
Yeah.
And to the point where I want you to do this, where you are laughing, where you're like, just like you are now, as we're having this conversation, you're laughing, you're smiling, you're giggling. I want you to write something that makes you laugh, that makes you giggle, thinking like, when you're writing this message, like, shit, man, I could never send this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're getting excited by it because you're putting yourself into a very high vibration, high energy state.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you do that and you send those messages, you're more likely to kind of get the response that you want anyway. And people are more likely to be attracted to that energy anyway.
Yeah.
And you may as well do it because you in that moment are just having a good time. And that's what it's all about ultimately. That is the bottom line. Are you feeling good? Yes.
Yes.
That's 95% of the job done. Great. Wouldn't it be great to have someone to share that humor with? Of course, that's why we're all in this together.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you may as well do it to the point where you're having fun doing it because that's 95% of the job anyway.
Yeah.
Of being good, feeling good, having a great time in life, enjoying yourself, etc., etc. And if someone can come in and compliment that, great, wonderful.
Yeah, I agree.
So what would you do differently right now, based on all of this right now? You match with someone on Hinge, Bumble, on the WhatsApp group, or you see someone on the WhatsApp group, whatever. What would you do differently right now? So give me an
More
example.
open.
Yeah, like
Um,
give me an example. Like, think on your feet. This is an important thing.
yeah.
Think on your feet. I know it's hard to do. It's not easy to do.
Yeah.
I can't always think of the answers all the time as well. But just think on your feet for a second. You see a girl you like. Maybe she posted a picture of herself um, um, in Egypt.
Right. Okay.
You've picked up on that. What
Yeah.
do you send? Think on your feet. So
Cheeky.
this is where practice and
Yeah.
real kind of thinking outside the box. Now let's
Mm-hmm.
say you haven't been to Egypt. What's a really cool place you visited in the world? Wicked. There you go. Right. So this is your in. You've got to say
Yeah.
something like, right, you need to kind of this is where you are thinking outside the box. You may have to make up a little bit of shit first.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they send something. Oh my God, your picture in Egypt really remind me of something that happened to me when I was in Kenya. Right.
Yeah.
And now, and then you just say something like, oh, by the way, hi, thought I'd say hello, introduce myself.
Yeah.
I'm Jay.
Yeah.
Right. And then that you're gonna obviously lead it as a dot dot dot. Really remind me of something crazy that happened to me in Kenya. Now you may have to make up some shit or really expand on something or exaggerate something. I don't know. I don't know if I can. But I guarantee if you really think about it, there is something
Yeah.
there that probably was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. You saw a giant snake. I don't know. I don't know. God knows, right? Whatever. I don't know. But this is what's gonna kind of get people out of their rut because in the same way you're in a rut, they're in a rut. They're seeing this message from this guy Jay, this wonderful, amazing guy that they don't know. But this message from Jay, unfortunately, has not conveyed that he's any sort of different person to the last 100 they've spoken to. So what is the point in me replying? It's not you. It's not personal, Jay. It's
Yeah.
not. I've got to stop saying your name so I can actually then share this. But no one's going to know it's you anyway. No one's going to have. There's about 1 million guys with the name Jay. But this is what they're going through. This is
Yeah.
what they're experiencing. Like if I'm sending a pitch or something to someone now, I really use ChatGPT a lot. And I'm trying to really think outside the box when I do share stuff, like really just go next level. And it's still a work in progress. I'm still a beginner at this. I'm not a sales expert by any means. But if I'm doing something like that, I'm trying to like use tools to help me think outside the box a bit and do something that's a little bit wacky and outrageous and that will get more attention and get people actually sitting up and paying attention. If my posts social media post resembles 100 other social media posts, do you think it's going to get much attraction, let alone attraction and attraction? No, it's not. It's not going to get anywhere. I've got to really sort of think outside the box, and so do you.
Yeah.
So when you went to Kenya, tell me a story about anything that happened to you while you were in Kenya.
Um,
Why was it your
so
favorite trip, for example? Let's start there. See this? Oh my God, dude, come on. This is really cool. Like, it's funny you should talk about safaris, right? Because
yeah.
I literally just messaged my family WhatsApp group saying, because Nid is turning 50 this year, so we're doing a big getaway for her birthday. We're
Yeah.
going to Thailand, Bali, and Borneo.
Mm.
And then for next year, I turn 49, 50 would be the year after, so in 2028.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're thinking, I'm kind of one of these people though. I think to myself, look, if we plan too far ahead and I'm not alive, then nothing's gonna happen, right? So actually, maybe we'll go for a safari next year. We're gonna do it for my
Yeah.
50th, but maybe we'll do it next
Mm.
year. So I'm planning a safari. Zanzibar is where I would love to go.
Oh,
'Cause my dad
yeah.
was born in Tanzania, so I'd love to go there.
Mhm.
But anyway, you telling me this story
Mhm.
is getting me really excited about it.
Okay,
But
that's
you
good.
see, like you kind of when you told me about Kenya, you told it in such a dull way initially, but
Yeah.
look at all these cool things
Yeah.
that you're telling me about right now, and I'm like, that's really cool. Like that's amazing. Like to see a lion fucking eating its its habitat, seeing the big five. What are the big five anyway? There you go. All right. So there you go. Like this is like that's amazing. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I love it. I love it. That's such a nice story. But you've got to learn to storytell.
Yeah.
Just as we mentioned at the masterclass, storytelling
Yeah.
is one of the best gifts you will ever give yourself.
Mm.
Being able to talk about stuff like this, and if I don't feel that, I don't see that from you, um,
Mhm.
then that's where I'm not gonna get interested in. If I'm a woman, I'm not gonna get interested in returning your message or call if it seems really dull and boring to me. But if you can create a little bit of mystery, playfulness, intrigue, have some fun, be a bit brazen, a bit balls to the wall, that's when shit's really gonna change.
Oh,
So I was talking to a woman the other day. I'll just leave you with this story, right? So I was talking to a woman the other day. She posted a profile in the WhatsApp group,
mhm.
and same thing happened. I read her profile. It was pretty boring,
Yeah.
pretty dull. Looked like every other freaking profile that gets read. Don't get me wrong, people are doing sort of better than they were, a year ago,
Mhm.
doing far better.
Yeah.
But still, if I look at all the profiles, most of them are looking the same because no one's actually really putting any real thought into them.
Is my profile okay from what you've seen?
Yeah,
Or
but I want you to go. I'm going to go back to it now, right? Right this second, 1 second, right? So let's have a look. There it is. Yeah. So, all right, cool. Your profile's not bad. I would give
Mhm.
it maybe about a 4 out of 3 to 4 out of 10.
Right, okay.
Again, what I would love to do,
Mhm.
like your profile, is
Mhm.
not like your headline. I beg your pardon. It's not bad,
Right.
but it's how do you get her stirred up by reading it?
Mhm.
And when I say her, I'm talking about anyone who reads it. You
Yeah.
want it
Yeah.
to be something a little bit sort of like your picture on your right, by the way, is really nice. I like your picture on your right.
Yeah.
Left is
Mhm.
fine, but both
Yeah.
pictures are fine. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Fast cars, big dreams, and a tall guy who loves it. A little adventure, and I love the fact you mentioned tall guy. I
Yeah.
love that. I would put maybe reword that head and shoulders above the rest, not just because I'm tall, but because I'm an awesome dude or something like that, right? Just like that. You have kind of put that in a way, in a way such. He loves
Yeah.
a little adventure, but again, adventure is one of those words that is so overused that could mean anything.
Okay.
Because if you're a bit more specific,
Mhm.
it's going to mean something a little bit different. So I mean, you're like you said, you're right. You're 5'11". You must be at least
Yeah.
or something, right? I mean, you must be. I don't know. I don't know. My measured, I'm 189 centimeters, which is about 6'2" and a half, and I just tell everyone I'm 6'3". I just like that extra half inch. It feels good to be able to tell. And if anyone ever tells me I'm lying, I'll be like, shut up. In the morning when I wake up and gravity's done its job, I am 6'3". Only at the end of the day am I actually 6'2", after gravity's shrunk me by an inch and a half. So in your profile, you've got like enjoying any constant love detailing, blah blah blah. So you're kind of doing what everyone does, right? So you've got I
Mhm.
enjoy going to concerts. Like I would love for you to expand on that
Right, okay.
and tell me something about that. Tell me a story about one of these things, right?
Mhm.
Um, I like this. I love detailing my car and treat it like my baby. But
Mhm.
again, there is like there's so much missing information there. You don't want to make it super long, like to
Yeah.
like 10,000 paragraphs. But you like detailing my car and treat it like my baby. Like I don't know what the car is and why it's so
Yeah.
special to you. I don't like. I'd love to know a bit of that information. That's where
Yeah.
the
Okay.
emotion is going to kick in. Um, if you're lucky, you may get your car valeted as well. You
Yeah.
just need to treat me to a nice meal afterwards. Love the bit of cheekiness, which is great.
Yeah.
Gym, fitness 4 times a week, yoga, long walks, being in nature. So again, what you've just gone reverted to what everyone else does, a long list of.
Yeah.
See, I would reword this a little bit, and I would go where it says hobbies or something, or you can reword these profiles. The
Yeah.
template is just a template; it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
exactly right. So if you were to reword it and put something like a tiny bit about me, tell a
Mhm.
story about one of
Mhm.
these things. Pick one.
Mhm.
Like just like I did in my profile, my example profile. One
Yeah.
of my greatest adventures to date was being, swimming in the Red Sea in Egypt,
Mhm.
snorkeling, sorry.
Yeah.
And you'll never guess what happened to me when I was there, right? So do you know what I mean? Like something to just create a bit of intrigue. That could even be improved massively as well. If I really put my mind to it, I could easily work on that and make it even better. And then, and then after that, if you want to cheekily put, and by the way, here's the list that everyone puts on their profile of all the things that I love too. Right. So then you can put a list of a few things that are important to you, right? The real stuff that's important to you. Seeking my queen. Again, my a kind, considerate, honest, trustworthy, lovely ladies, good heart, etc., etc. Someone who likes me when they smile. Like that bit I like.
Yeah.
I would put this bit at the beginning and get the list at the end. Someone who is religious and spiritual, cultural. Someone likes to keep away from. I'm kind of a commitment to marriage. Sure, I love someone who's family orientated in bad times. So it's not bad. I mean, like I said, your profile's not bad. It just needs tweaking. It just needs tweaking. Honestly, it's not bad at all. It's just like I say to everyone, it should be a work in progress. This is something you should be working on every single day. You should almost become obsessed about this profile a little bit
Yeah.
and really like refining it. Every time you post it should be different. It should be something new added in there, something taken away, something changed, edited, a new story, whatever. Try different things. Don't just put, are you posting the same thing every time you post this?
Yeah.
You need to
At
edit.
least for the past what, 3 or 4 weeks, or
Yeah, you
since
need.
the um workshop, yeah, it's been
Mm.
posted the same.
I want you to look again. I mentioned about technology today.
Mhm.
You can WhatsApp yourself and you can keep these in,
Yeah, that's what I do. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
keep
exactly, right?
it. Yeah.
But just keep refining it, keep editing it, try a different version, try a different
Hmm.
picture every time. Maybe have 3 or 4 pictures, and every time you post, make sure you use a different picture. So stick to
Right.
one
Okay.
if you want to, and then
Mm.
repost with a different profile every time.
Right. Okay.
Because you never know, one picture might really stand out to one particular woman, and the other picture may not stand out to her as much.
Mm-hmm.
It just it is simple basic physics, sorry, psychology, marketing practices.
Yeah.
It's very simple things, right? People try different
Hmm.
things and they split test things to see if what works.
Hmm.
So anyway, you mentioned about profile. Now, this lady I
Yeah.
mentioned, right? She had a profile, and again, it was very vanilla.
Hmm.
Is the best way to describe it. And um, and after talking to her for 10 minutes, like I got out of her that she really likes drifting. Do you know what drifting is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, that's amazing. Like, that's so cool. Like, why is that not on your profile?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? You tell me right now, if her profile was worded like this, she may not be ideal for you. I don't know, right? But
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm looking forward to being someone's wife and partner.
Mhm.
And I can just as easily sit at home, watch Netflix, as I can then also go out and go drifting. And I'd love to do that with my future husband, where we
Yeah.
go into a skid pan, go get some fast cars and do
Yeah.
crazy, crazy, shit, whatever it is. I don't know. But you get my point. Like, if you were to
Yeah.
write something like that, as a guy, if I read that, that would be really enticing to me.
Mm.
Would it to you?
Yeah, it would. Because I always wanted to go drifting myself.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Let me just check how old this lady is. Um, She's got an Indian accent. She's lived in the UK for years though. Let me just check if I can find her profile and check her age. I think she's a little bit older than you. How old are you now? You're 38, 39?
So,
You know what? Still worth potentially just at least having a conversation. Let's see if she does update her profile as well. And she sent me a message as well yesterday, just saying, oh, like I really enjoyed that chat and it really sort of made sense to me as well. Um,
okay.
But I just wanted to leave you with that example so you can get a sense
Mhm.
of like how different her profile could be to what she's written
Yeah.
if you just give it a bit more thought. Like what you mentioned about Kenya, I think is really fascinating. I think it's
Yeah.
lovely, to be able to say you've done that, and just
Mm.
again, if you can focus on not too much of a list of things, but in
Right.
fact,
Okay.
instead focus on one or two, the things that really mean the most to you, and tell a story around them,
Right.
and
Okay.
really share the emotion behind it as well. That's what's going to get people clicking into your profile
Yeah. Okay.
and wanting to get to know you.
Yeah.
So let's summarize this really quickly.
Yeah.
One, I think you need to get out there, talk
Mhm.
to strangers.
Yeah.
I sound like I'm talking to your primary school. Never talk to strangers. But you have to undo that advice. Go talk to strangers and
Yeah.
practice this conversational skill,
Okay.
talking about random things
Yeah.
that interest you, things that are fun to you, whatever. And getting away from, hey, how's your day? What you've been up to? Isn't it like beautiful sunshine? I still
Yeah.
revert to stuff like that occasionally. We all do. But for
Yeah.
the most part, getting away from that.
Mhm.
Two, on your profile, dude, get away from all that boring shit you're sending these
Yeah.
people. That's why they're not replying. You need to be
Yeah.
balls to the wall. If they're not replying, you may as well take a few risks. Simple.
Yeah.
Three, just edit your profile a little bit more. It just needs a little bit of work, a bit more storytelling, a little bit less listing, and you're well on your way there. It's going to make a
Yeah.
big difference. And when you do have interactions, whether it's with a
Mm.
WhatsApp group or whatever, then go beyond what you would normally say. Go ahead and be a little bit out there, a little bit crazy, a little bit more mysterious.
Yeah. Mysterious and cheeky.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
No worries, man. I hope that was definitely helpful to you. And
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
good, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm very glad to hear that. So good luck, man. I really hope
Yeah.
that helps for the next level, the next step on your journey. I think
You're
it's a good
welcome.
start as well. So
Yeah.
good luck with that, and keep me updated on how it goes. All right.
Yeah. Will do. Thank you for your time.
See you later, man. Take it
All
easy.
right. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.